everyone. Welcome to Building Transformation's virtual event. Today, we're looking at diving deeper, how to effectively build tech skills to boost tech adoption with AI. Uh, Thank you again for being here today. My name is Zinga White. I'm the Executive Director of Building Transformations. We're excited to host these events on a regular basis to bring the latest innovations in our industry to you wherever you're located across North America and the world. If you don't know too much about Building Transformations, I'm happy to share some details before we get right into it. So our vision and mission, which we've recently refreshed, our vision is transforming the built environment through innovation. And our mission is to foster a community that is committed to knowledge sharing and advancing technology and innovation in the built environment. We host a number of programs, including this one, both online and in-person events across North America. We have our certification program that provides a digital project delivery certification. We also have a number of programs for our members exclusively, including think tanks and our awards program. We publish a publication and we have career opportunities posted on our website as well. Who is Building Transformations? Well, we have members from across North America in a number of different sectors and disciplines, over 2,000. We encourage you, if you're not already a member, to join us. We have a large mailing list, so please subscribe to our newsletter, follow us on LinkedIn, and check out our content, including this one that will be posted on our YouTube page. Again, if you're not a member, we have both organizational and individual memberships. So if your company is already an organizational member of Building Transformations, you as an individual get your membership for free. So check out our website and apply online to join as a member to get discounts and exclusive programs and opportunities. Something I want to highlight as well today is we had our 2025 publication launch a couple weeks ago. So a lot of really key players in our industry have submitted content for our publication. So you can view it online here, or you can even order a physical copy to keep at your office. So I encourage you to check that out and learn about some of the latest innovations over the past year. We have a lot going on for 2025 and 2026. So more to come on 2026 later, but you'll see today's event, that should say May 28th. We also have some regional local events coming up, including in Calgary and Toronto, some networking events. So please register on our website for those. The Calgary event's just in a couple weeks, so we're looking forward to getting back on the West Coast. We also have a networking event on June 26th in Toronto, and finally our Toronto Industry Summit. It's going to be great. It's jam-packed sessions, tours. We also have our annual general meeting for our members at that event. We will actually be launching registration this week for that event, including an early bird rate that's more discounted than even the member rate. So you definitely want to register as soon as possible. So look out in your emails for the registration link, and we look forward to seeing you there. I'd like to take some time to thank our mission partners. Special thanks to PCL, who's our strategic partner, as well as Bentley, our platinum partner. We also have a number of gold and corporate partners, including Global E-Training, who is here with us today for this presentation. So we'd like to thank all of our mission partners, Global E-Training, for your support. We also are launching, also have launched our mission partnership package for 2025 and 2026. So reach out to me via email to get some information about how you can become a mission partner. So that's all I have to say to introduce. Let's get right into it. I'm happy to invite to our virtual stage Susan Bratberg from Global E-Training, who's going to be leading us through this amazing topic. And we'll return back to this setting after a presentation for some Q&A. So make sure you use the comments section to include your questions, and I'll bring them to Susan afterwards. So take it away, Susan.
Thanks so much, Zinga. Hi, everyone. I am Susan Bratberg, founder and chief customer officer of Global E-Training, and I will get to my proper slide and dive right in a moment. One moment. There we go. starting off, how to effectively build tech skills and boost tech adoption with AI. So I've got lots of exciting things to cover. To start, I'll just do a quick introduction of myself. I am co-founder of Global E-Training. I'm passionate about education and for collaborative and inclusive workplaces. Personally, I've partnered with AEC and manufacturing firms from around the world over the last 16 and a half years since the inception of Global E-Training to help create cultures of learning and implement effective technical training programs. On a personal note, that's me and my family. I live in Canmore, Alberta. Global E-Training is a Canadian company, and my beautiful little dog, Magic, there. She's my favorite colleague and assistant. I'm CCO. I'm the Chief Customer Officer of Global E-Training. She's also CCO. She's the Chief Chief Cuddle Officer of Global E-Training. That's the co-founders of Global E-Training. So for those of you that don't know, Global E-Training is a Canadian company and a family company. So it was founded by my sister, who's back here, and my brother-in-law, her husband, 16 and a half years ago. So a lot of people don't know those details about us. So I always like to share that founder story. Global E-Training was actually my sister's and my executive MBA project, and is a spin-off of Digital School, which is a Canadian college, also a building transformations member, the first Autodesk authorized training center in Canada. And we've been doing technical training for the AEC industry for actually over 40 years. So before my time, obviously, not that old. That's us on a more professional note, on the cover of Construction Tech Review and some of the amazing awards that Global E-Training has won. And I do need to admit, there's a lot of rumors going around about Global E-Training. Did you really hand out lime green boxer shorts at Autodesk University? And yes, we did. I just want to set the record straight. Yes, we handed out 2,000 pairs of lime green boxer shorts at Autodesk University 2024 that said get elevated next level training. Also, the beautiful Canadian Rockies were nicely featured as well. So elevate your technical skills. And we had a lot of fun with that, and it was a hit. So if you want a pair, we have a few left. Let me know. So just before we dive into all of the information, I'll just introduce Global E-Training. So AEC and manufacturing firms use Global E-Training to create and share custom workflows, BIM software skills, and boost overall efficiency and profitability. We have the largest online training library in the AEC industry, a project-specific course builder, tracking and reporting to maximize your team's ROI. It's the most effective training solution for the most effective teams. And this is just a bit of an overview of the different solutions that Global E-Training provides, including AEC skills training, attracting and retaining the best top talent, and really importantly is driving software and technology adoption. And that's what we're really going to dive in today, is how to effectively drive technology adoption. Training is the number one way to drive technology adoption. So diving deeper, what we're covering today is I'm going to dive into some stats on the skills gap crisis in the AEC industry and share some industry trends with you. Then we'll get into the role of digital training and tech adoption. And then this is actually information that was presented at Autodesk University. And I'm going to give you the quick version of it. At Autodesk University, we did a whole design thinking workshop and people were out putting sticky notes on the board. And I'm going to share the results of that with you. And I'm also going to dive into some of the information from the Autodesk State of Design and the State of Design and Make report that was just released this month, and some of the industry trends that we're seeing globally. So first off, is this you? So I expect if you're on the call, you're in the AEC industry in some capacity. What we're finding is we're seeing that tech teams are really reporting up to the CIO line of business. So if you're a digital delivery professional, BIM or VDC manager, trainer, anybody essentially responsible for technology adoption and training. If you have anything to do with that, then this presentation is for you. So let's start with some tech stack trends. I already shared that training and is the number one way to drive technology adoption. So some of the stats here, the most instrumental investment in helping companies generate benefits from AI, which is obviously a huge piece right now, and an amazing, widely adopted adoption of AI. The number one way to drive adoption of any technology, including AI, is training. Some of the top CIO challenges and trends, tech companies are focusing on upskilling workers. So you're going to hear a lot of that this year, and making strategic investments in the existing workforce. And 75% of CIOs say it is a challenge to find the right balance between the business innovation and the operational excellence. And 85% of the CIOs and CIO line of business are involved in leading digital transformation initiatives. So it is a big deal. And at the very executive line, people are talking about upskilling and the need for that of driving technology adoption. Now diving into this Autodesk 2025 State of Design and Make report, I'm going to give you a quick overview of what that report said. I do encourage you to go and do a deeper dive into the read. Autodesk surveyed their customers, and they found that the number one challenge for AEC firms was the technical skills shortage. 73% of the companies surveyed, and again, this is globally in the AEC manufacturing and also media and entertainment space, 73% feel prepared for unforeseen challenges and agree that digitally mature firms report higher productivity. So I guess no surprises. We talked about AI. AI is being widely adopted. 76% already trust AI in their industry, and over half have achieved or are close to AI integration already. So we're seeing super fast adoption. Now, what was a surprise is the workforce challenges and upskilling. 64% of the companies surveyed cite a skilled talent shortage. And again, this is global. So if you're in North America, I'm sure you're feeling that crunch as well. 93 prioritize tech, collaboration, and regulatory upskilling. And there's this shift from hiring people that know what they're doing, which has been the conversation we've been having for forever. People say, oh, we just hire people fresh out of university that know what they're doing. Well, what happens next year? Some of our customers that we've talked to, they say they used to post an ad and they get 200 qualified applicants apply. Well, that's not happening today. Now you might get a handful of underqualified applicants applying. So what we're recommending is hire based on culture, and then we can get people up to speed on the necessary technical skills quite quickly. Talent shortage is a top barrier. So 75% of firms report difficulty finding qualified staff. And again, 64% say access to talent is a major barrier. And the AECO and industry feels it the most. So there's a shift, again, from hiring underqualified staff to training internally for a hire ready shift to a develop within strategy. The most in-demand skills that came out of this survey is digital proficiency, collaboration and communication, regulatory compliance, and software and technology skills. 85% of leaders are confident in adaptability, but only 54% feel that they have the right skills now and agree that structured upskilling is urgently needed. So again, we're getting the same message, and this is mentioned multiple times in this report. So upskilling is essential to close skill gaps, and training is no longer optional. It is a competitive advantage. It's not a nice to have. It is a must-have. So digital training solves the skills gap challenge. It's just-in-time learning at scale. It's trackable, reportable, customizable, and supports onboarding and skilling and technology adoption. So workforce readiness is a strategic advantage and a competitive advantage. Are your people ready? So let's dive in and see if they're not, we can help you get there. Again, we're just diving into stats and numbers. So why train your team? 94% of employees agree to stay longer in a company if they invest in their training. We know it's the number one way to attract and retain top talent. 74% of employees believe they aren't achieving their full potential at work because they aren't being properly trained. 21% of the companies that invest in training are ahead in profits, And again, you can see here, 84% of the top performing companies of the employees report receiving the professional development training that they need. So I think there's no questions. Training is a strategic advantage. I want to walk you through this design thinking workshop that we hosted at Autodesk University and share some of the results that came out of that. So let's start with, what is design thinking? If you haven't heard of it, I'll give you a quick summary. It includes the process of ideation followed by analysis and testing. So it's similar to the scientific method and incorporates aspects of divergent and convergent thinking, brainstorming and analytics, and management and testing and continuous improvement. So the solution is your Venn diagram, your triple Venn diagram there, and it's the intersection between the desired ideas and the technical viability and economic viability. So we did this big workshop. I'm not going to get you to get up and add sticky notes. We don't have time for that. I'll just share the results of that. So we had our problem statement. How do we elevate both your tech staff and your tech staff to drive productivity and profitability across a digitally transformed project lifecycle? So that's where you want to start, is your problem statement. So we said, first, let's elevate your tech stack. We need to map your tech stack. So I'm sure you guys know what your tech stack is, but let's start. Actually, do you have a tech stack map? That's a good starting place. Write down all of the different tools that your company uses. There's a lot you're using, and I'm sure there's a lot you're evaluating right now. So 2025 and upcoming 2026 is the year of tech stack adoption. You know, now that you've selected what your tech stack is, we need to drive adoption of that. So let's go wide with divergent thinking. What are some challenges that limit the adoption of your tech stack and achievement of digital transformation? So this is where we had everyone get up with their sticky notes and with lots of exciting and fun discussion. Here's a summary. And again, we had a lot more than this. This is just what I could fit on one slide. Everything fit into 3 categories: people, process, technology. And what you're going to notice is the people side is the majority, complexity of the learning curve, resistance to change, organizational culture, habit of old systems. Again, a lot of the challenges with barriers to driving effective technology adoption fall on the people. And of course, there's process and technology as well. But let's focus on the people. That's your most important asset. So again, divergent thinking, going wide. What are ideas that could remove the barriers and elevate the adoption of your tech stack and enable digital transformation? So again, everyone's up and moving around, chit-chatting in small groups. And here's a summary of the answers. So we have, I'll let you read here. I'm not going to have time in this call to go through it every step. Again, a lot of things came into training and support. So some of them I bolded here to draw attention: offer online training and support, AI-powered onboarding tools, promote technology and knowledge culture, leverage analytics to track performance. So a lot of great ideas that came out of it. So now we're going to talk about that Venn diagram and bring them together. So now we say, okay, we have all these ideas. How do we choose which one? So again, it's a quadrant. You've got your low impact, low cost, high impact, low cost, high impact, high cost, low impact, high cost. Okay. So I'm sure you can figure out you want high impact, low cost. Check. Those are the ones that we're going to implement as fast as possible. High impact, high cost could be a possibility, but that's going to take a lot more decision making. And why are you going to do anything that has a low impact anyway? So what came out of it? We've got a lot of good options here. The outcome is the knowledge management system with a trackable ROI is a high impact, low cost option. So I'm going to share a little bit about what does that mean? And again, these are tools that Global eTraining provides, but just really good information for you as well when you're developing, a culture of learning and knowledge management. What does that mean? And what are the different solutions that you need to add to your tech stack to help drive this technology adoption? So let's start with a learning management system. You may or may not already have a learning management system. We typically find that small companies do not have a learning management system, and that is okay. And then, medium and large size companies often do. I think that starting point is a learning management system. If you don't have one, talk to Global eTraining, because our platform comes with a learning management system. And that is where the learners go to access training, and then it's all trackable. So you can use our learning management system, and then we're also happy to integrate and tie into your learning management system. If you already have one, we want to point people to where they're going for their learning. Next, demonstration of skills competency. This is important on an individual level. It's also important on a corporate level. It is your competitive advantage. I use the term, and I didn't come up with it, and I've heard it in industry, the word Hollywood BIM. So back in the day, you could just say, yeah, we do BIM. You can't get away with that anymore. And then you fake it till you make it, and then you call Global eTraining and we help you get up to speed quickly. Now you need to prove competence. So you need to prove, do your people know what you're doing? And we can help do that on an individual level, but also on a company level. And then access to the course content. You've got important experts in your organization. We don't need them, sitting in a dungeon somewhere making training videos and all the picks and clicks and all the new technology, because that would take them off of production, and it would be a tedious and expensive job to do. So with Global eTraining, we have it preloaded with hundreds of courses with the latest AEC technology and compliance and soft skills and leadership training, and even safety training. So preloaded with hundreds of courses. The focus is we want to get it to the level that you can add your company-specific workflows and process and elevate from just a culture of learning to a full culture of knowledge management. So we'll get into that in a moment here. Next is the actual course interface. So when you're doing any sort of asynchronous learning, which means online, on-demand, self-paced, it doesn't have to be only online. I need to make a point that it can be delivered in a blended learning environment. You don't need to do everything there's a synchronous approach, which is what we're doing right now when we're all here at the same time and place. We're also recording it to be available later asynchronously. And I think it's a nice balance to do both. And you use the asynchronous, or the online, on-demand, self-paced, to really elevate those important real-time opportunities, whether they're virtual or live. And so when you're doing anything in this asynchronous, self-paced environment, what's really important is to recognize that everybody learns differently, and they have all of their different learning styles. And so we follow what's called the BARC learning methodology, which is visual, audio, read, write, and kinesthetic. So just sending out a 2-hour video, most people aren't going to know what that means. Just sending out a big, a 2-inch thick textbook or policy manual. Again, most people aren't going to be able to digest that, to remember it and apply those skills. So what we recommend is short, bite-sized pieces, micro learning that includes all the learning styles. So you listen, you watch, you read, you try, you test your competencies, you get instant feedback. And so there's some basic learning methodologies that are really important, especially for teaching busy working professionals. So there's a lot of benefits to the learning management system and effective online training to elevate, in-person training and webinar training and workshops and mentorship programs. Benefits include attracting and retaining top talent, onboarding and engaging your team, advancing career paths, increasing employee satisfaction. So obviously huge wins all around. I want to challenge you to take it further. What if, in addition to information being considered knowledge, knowledge is considered information, and this big data is compiled, managed, and analyzed as an IT tool within the tech stack. So adopting a knowledge is information approach will help elevate tech adoption to enhance productivity and project success. So it's elevating training to knowledge management and creating these cultures of knowledge and cultures of technology. Let's get deeper into that, and I'll explain a little bit further what I mean. If we elevate our view of training to organizational knowledge management as a mission-critical function of digital transformation, our benefits elevate to training that spans the full project lifecycle, data and analytics, to drive technology adoption and give you headlights and insights into your most important asset. We've got all the information that you can imagine about your project, and everybody's all about the information, the big I in BIM. But where you're lacking information and people are honestly driving blind a little bit is the information about your people and who knows what and proper resource allocation. So this is going to give you very important, tangible information for driving business value. So important concept here. Digital transformation requires digital knowledge management. You're not going to get there without that. So again, we're talking about elevating training to knowledge management. We need to bridge the gap between the technology and the learning and development teams. Often people say, oh, training, that's all falls under learning and development. But learning and development teams are very, very busy. They've got important jobs to do in leadership development. And often they don't have technical expertise. In most cases, they don't. 75% of the L&D investment is directed to online platforms. However, only 10 to 15% are able to record a measurable ROI. And that is what, when you're talking technology training, is so important. If you imagine what you're spending on your technology, it's a small insurance policy. I say that the training is just a small drop in the bucket compared to the investment in technology, but it's essential to drive effective adoption of that technology. So understanding that the L&D teams are very, very busy with leadership development and other and compliance training, we have to understand that this is a role that the technology teams really need to participate in as well. So challenging you even further, what if knowledge management is considered a productivity enhancement tool that fits within the tech stack? Okay, so this is where we're talking. This is why if you're on the technical team, on the CIO line of business, this is important. It's not just a training line item, it's a productivity enhancement tool. So if this fits within the tech stack and it integrates with existing learning technology and acts as a catalyst to elevate adoption of other technology, productivity enhancement is a key line item in project planning and execution, and it will ensure that time and resources are used efficiently. So here's a step for you, and it's important. The average tech stack budget versus the learning and development budget per person is 3 times. So you're saying, okay, we're spending all this money on technology, learning and development can pay for the training on that, when we already know that they have very important initiatives and very small budgets. So let's talk about this. It is a productivity enhancement tool, and typically now what we're seeing is it is falling under the tech stack budget, and there's a collaborative approach between the learning and development and technology teams. So I want to share with you, if you're now thinking, how do I get budget for this technology adoption program and productivity enhancement tools, I'll show you some steps to see the ROI on your knowledge management solution and initiatives. So one, you're going to have your training ROI. So you're learning faster, retaining more, saving time, applying skills to real world projects, not having to take people off production, having projects run efficiently. That's huge. Next, hours saved. If you can reduce downtime and rework, that's a huge astronomical return on investment. Your data and analytics, to be able to drive and measure your tech stack adoption and make informed decisions on your resource allocation, and making sure people are trained ahead of a project and have on-demand tools while they're on a project to not have to slow a project down if people don't know what they're doing. We have anecdotes of customers that have done this, and they say, wow, that project was so efficient and so profitable when people knew what they were doing. And it's such a simple concept, yet it is still not a common concept. Number 4 is win more bids. We're talking now that this is not just a nice to have, it's a must have to attract and retain top talent, to drive technology adoption, but it's also your competitive advantage to win more bids and be more competitive in this marketplace. So I have an illustration here. I didn't fill it in, but it's some comparison purposes. So we have helped companies do their ROI calculation. I encourage everyone to do it themselves, because when we just told you the numbers, you wouldn't believe me. The actual ROI on, you're talking tiny amounts. Some of the big companies are spending millions of dollars on technology. We're talking in the hundreds of dollars, or potentially even less than 100, less than that on a per person basis per year to drive adoption. The return on investment, when you add in your hours saved and your extra competitiveness, and you're having retaining top talent, and all of those things have a compounding effect. The ROI can be astronomical, even in the thousands of percentages, which is pretty amazing. So here's an illustration that you can use to do your own calculations. I'd be happy to share this with you if you want to reach out to me. So looking into the future, agility and adaptability founded on digital transformation could be key for industry competitiveness. So this is a lot of recent research that is really focusing on this trend that we're seeing on investing in upskilling and cross-skilling programs being a really important strategic play. I'm going to jump into some more of these productivity enhancement tools that Global eTraining offers, and things for you to consider in your knowledge management planning. Skills gap assessment. So again, let's just say you've got a whole project team. You need to know who knows what. This is the fastest way to do it. We have it preloaded with a lot of industry relevant questions, but it's completely customizable. You can have people do a pre-assessment, and based on their answers, it will spit out a custom learning path. So everybody gets a completely custom learning path. You're not all taking 10 hours of training. Maybe I need to take 10 hours and someone else needs to take 2 hours and someone else needs to take 5 hours. It flips the game to focus on competence, not just everyone took a 10-hour course, because maybe someone needs 20 and maybe someone else only needs 2. So let's focus on competency. The next piece to really make sure that you are on top of is your tracking and reporting. A lot of times they say, yeah, we do training, we did a workshop, we did a lunch and learn. Do you know do you know if they even showed up? 2, do you know if they paid attention? Do you know if they learned anything? And then do you know if they retained anything? All very important things. And then what happens again if someone was sick or they started the next week, right? We need to have it in a way that is scalable and trackable. So of course, we've got all the tracking and reporting, and that is an imperative checkbox for you to make sure you have. Other cool productivity enhancement tools that Global eTraining offers, we have an Autodesk plugin. And of course, we all know Autodesk is a major player in this space. So if it's the project tool that you're using, let's say you're on Revit, you're working on your project, you don't even have to leave the software to get instant answers. Again, making it that much more efficient to learn and apply skills. Let's take it a step further. What if we adopt the power of AI to augment human input and get faster at developing custom workflow training to develop industry skills and solve real-world challenges? So leveraging AI-powered content creation will help provide your team with the specific skills, consistent standards, and custom workflows needed to complete projects successfully. So I promised we'd get into AI in this presentation because we're embracing AI just like the whole industry. I think it's amazing. So what we have our generator, which is our custom course builder. If you really want to drive effective technology adoption, we know training is the #1 way to do that. To drive effective training adoption, you've got step 1, you've got out-of-the-box training, and that's great. But what is even better is making it company and project and discipline specific. Now you think that sounds like a lot of work and a lot of money, but if we can get you there in the least amount of work and time and money, it's going to be the game changer to have everybody up to speed on these project teams. Because it's not something, oh, I'll learn that tomorrow. It's, I need to know this for this project today. So the custom course builder is the ability, it's what our subject matter experts use to build and maintain and keep all the courses up to date always. So you can tap into that. But then your team can use that to customize the courses with your processes and workflows and best practices and make it company and project specific. And that's where it's going to be really compelling and interesting and apply. They can immediately apply those skills to real projects. Next, obviously, I know this presentation is North America focused, but a lot of Canadian contingents here. Translation is important. If you need to translate to French, Spanish, whatever it may be, our tool does translate. And that's, again, putting you in the mind of the learner. If you can learn in your native language, that is a lot easier to retain information as well. So let's dive into the AI piece. AI-powered course creation. So we have this cool tool where you say, try AI, and the AI, based on your prompts, will write a course for you. It will create the outline, it will create the structure. Now, it's just like any AI. We're not going to replace a subject matter expert, but it's something to build off, and it takes that writer's block away so that you can get started and start editing and start adding your own custom content. It gives you that structure. A lot of the time when we're starting with course development, you're just scratching your head like, how do I even start? So it gets you started. And we've been working with companies. They've been trying to make company-specific training for a year, and they got one course off the ground. By the time they released their course, it was out of date because these workflows and processes change so quickly. So with the AI tools and with the ease of using the generator and our templates, you don't need to be an instructional designer or a graphic designer. You just need to basically use it as a knowledge capture tool, put your information into the platform. Some of these customers are getting dozens and dozens of courses out and keeping them up to date and getting project teams up to speed, which is amazing. So the power of AI is amazing. I also want to introduce you to our newest team member, Gia. And this is hot off the press. The press release is just going out today, actually. So this is the latest announcement from Global eTraining, our new AI Dynamic Search Assistant. So it stands for the Global eTraining Intelligent Assistance. And it's here, she's here to streamline course navigation and elevate training efficiently. And again, you can ask Gia anything about any of the courses that we provide, but Gia will also look to the wider web to find relevant embedded answers for you. So I do want to just make a couple announcements about Global eTraining. We have done this helping companies. We say we can help you leapfrog into BIM, but if you're not already doing BIM in your firm, or you're still getting up to speed on it, we literally can help you leapfrog up into BIM and get you up to speed quickly. If you're making investments in technology and you want to drive effective adoption of that technology, and you're seeing this skills gap crunch that the whole world is seeing right now, we're here to help. We've literally worked with thousands of companies around the world, and we'd love to help you and support you as well. So we have our year-end special. Our year-end is June 30th, so our special is on until June 15th. We're offering 50% off company-wide training. So if this is interesting to you, please do reach out to me. You can extend online training, technical skills-based training, including all of the features that I talked about, to your whole team. If you're a Canadian business, reach out to me, because we are doing some support for fellow Canadian businesses. And do ask about our project-based training packages. This is taking off now, so don't think it's just for people on your own company. This is an opportunity to train a whole project team, your supply chain, your sub-trades. They all need to know the workflows and the processes and the technology for the project. And this is really, we're getting a lot of interest, especially with IPD projects. This would be great to get the whole project team up to speed. So ask us about our new project-based training packages. That was a lot in a short amount of time. So thank you for flowing with me. Thank you for listening. Again, I'm Susan Bratberg, founder and Chief Customer Officer at Global eTraining. This is my contact information, susanb@globaletraining.ca. And of course, please check out our website. There's a lot more information there at globaletraining.ca. Thank you again. Thank you so much, Zinga, for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much, Susan. And now we're going to open up the floor for question and answer period. So feel free to use the chat function in Ring Central to ask your question. We actually have a question coming in right now. So Susan, if you could respond. So how do we integrate AI tools into BIM? Is there any additional software required? So from your perspective at Global eTraining, how do we do that?
Well, I think that's a pretty general question. What BIM is, there's a lot of what is BIM? There's a lot of tools that enable BIM. And then AI, there's a lot of AI tools out there as well. So additional software, there might be additional software required, because there's a lot of AI software out there and there's a lot of BIM software out there. And then you need to look at integration. One thing I might recommend for this is just understand about AI. We are trying to keep up to speed in all of the latest and newest technology trends. We just released a really awesome course with one of the best thought leaders in this space, AI and AEC Masterclass. So again, you can log into Global eTraining. I think a total of 3 or 4 hours of training. It's not long. We're doing a lot of micro training, but that will get you up to speed on all of the AI tools and best practices for AI in the AEC space. And it talks a lot about integrating into popular BIM technology tools.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great. And yeah, I think that's going to be a great opportunity for our community to get more informed about those tools. So thank you so much.
Yeah, even if all you do is take that one course, it's awesome. Yeah, I'm going to get his name wrong. Stepan Milichek. He is the course author, and he's renowned and knows his stuff. That's for sure.
Great. Awesome. And I'll do a shameless plug. We like to explore some of these topics as well at our industry summit. So Global E-Training is always there as well. So, come and join us at our industry summits to talk more about some of these tools and see some of our vendors. And Global E-Training often is at our shows too, so they can
I'll be at the one in Calgary. Find me there.
Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of these important topics on AI in BIM will be discussed at our upcoming event. So please join us.
You bet.
Okay, I'm just gonna look to see if there's any other question. So another question about project management. So communication is key in the design and project intent. So what training do you have on how to use AI and how to communicate to the client? Do you have anything that you recommend or best practices or even content at Global E-Training that you can share on that?
Well, this is cool because I agreed. You need to communicate to the client and the whole project team. So I think using our platform as your project platform and the communication, getting everybody up to speed on what is the project, who's on the project, who are the stakeholders, what are the different disciplines, what are the tools you're using, what is the view on AI, what are the AI tools we're using. So like a lot of this is communication. And project teams are assembling and disassembling so quickly and coming on at midpoint. You need to have a structured way to communicate with people and know everybody knows what they're doing. So we have content you'd be welcome to use, but I would say, decide on what your message is, and you can easily add that into our platform and use that as your communication tool to make sure everybody has the exact same message.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great. That's a great point as well. Keep bringing your questions in. We do have a couple more minutes. I think we had an hour scheduled, so keep bringing your questions in.
Yeah, please.
I have a question for you, Susan. I think we announced this in our last newsletter, and we're really excited about this. So we understand that Global E-Training now has a Building Smart certification. So you wanted to share a little bit more about that and tell us how it all works.
Yeah, thank you. That is a new announcement. So we have partnered with Building Smart International. We also have a building transformation certification as well. And so we recommend all the certifications, prove your competency. But with Building Smart in particular, we do the official Open BIM Building Smart training, your ISO 19650 training, and it's all vetted and approved by Building Smart and the Building Smart curriculum. We're the only full online Building Smart training provider, so you can take all of the training asynchronously. And then we're also a proctor. So once you take the training, you can get your official certification. And I highly recommend that on an individual perspective, but as a company as well. So we're doing corporate certifications for both building transformations and Building Smart. So get all the badges, get them all.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, that's really great. And I think our members would love to take advantage of that. And we also have CPD that building transformations requires of our certified members. So taking courses like this could contribute towards CPD. So this is really great announcement. And we look forward to other collaborations with Global E-Training and actually Building Smart Canada in the future. So a lot of industries working together to make sure everyone is trained up on the latest skills and innovation. So that's really great.
Yeah, that's what this is all about, is collaboration.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so keep putting your questions in. We do have a couple more minutes before I close it off. Susan, I don't know if you had anything else to share about the project-based pricing. I know you mentioned it's available for sub-trains and supply chain. Like, how does that work?
Yeah, thank you. we've been offering this for a long time, and then we've actually just formalized it recently because it was we were getting so many requests. So we have our company-wide training, which is you can have access to anyone in your company. And we've always said, feel free to open it up to your project team. And it's just, do I really want to train people that aren't on my team and all of the things? So now we've got an official project-based program, and it's getting really great reviews, and it becomes a communication platform for the whole project team, and you can share the economies of scale and get better volume discounts, which is great because if you think about it, the smaller subtrades, it's harder for them to do BIM adoption and drive technology adoption. The technology is more expensive for them on a per person basis. The training is more expensive. So what are ways that we can benefit? And again, this partnering approach, and it's really nice to see more IPD projects that are happening. So your true partnerships that share the cost, but more importantly is have effective communication and effective training so that everyone on the project team is clearly onboarded and knows what they're doing. Again, I promise you the project is going to run a lot more efficiently with that in place. So the pricing itself is very similar to our company pricing, but way better volume discounts. And then that being said, there's if you are a customer, if you want to introduce it to your project will get a huge discount. Or if you experience it on your project and you say, hey, I want to take it to my company, there's a lot of incentives that we can build in.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that's going to be a great program, and it's good to get the whole project team integrated and talking the same language and understanding what's important for the project. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
We have one more question, to kind of to get your opinion and food for thought about the limitations of AI in digital construction. What have you seen? What are you anticipating?
Yeah, it was interesting. I was just at an event in San Francisco, the ENR Future Tech event, and of course, everyone is all about AI, and they're widely embracing it, but less skeptical, but also just saying there's so much out there. How do we even choose? And then when you choose, how do you implement? So it's all about implementation right now. So one, understanding what's out there, and then two, understanding how you're going to use it. And I think that the real approach that I'm hearing and I agree with is that AI is not going to replace people. It's just going to help elevate you, right? It's just going to help you get more done. And look at it really as an assistant and another productivity enhancement tool, if you will. And you still need real people that are doing the strategic thinking and planning and using AI to help you get some of the time-consuming, tricky tasks done more efficiently.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you mentioned earlier in your presentation the tools that you have. It doesn't replace the subject matter experts, but get things moving quickly. So I think that captures it really well. Okay, so we're getting close to time, and I want to give everyone back a little bit of time back in their day. So unless there's any final questions in the chat, I want to take some time to thank Susan Bratberg at Global E-Training for this amazing presentation. We had a lot of engagement from our participants. So we look forward to connecting with everyone, both from Building Transformations and Global E-Training, connecting with you at upcoming events and upcoming programs. I hope you take advantage of some of Susan's offers and programs that she shared today. Again, we will have this available online on our YouTube page after the fact if you missed something or you want to share it with your colleagues. So make sure you do that. And we'll see you at future Building Transformations events. We have a couple again in Calgary and in Toronto this summer. Our summit is in October in Toronto. So we look forward to seeing everyone there. And we will also have some other virtual events coming up in the fall. So stay tuned for that. Thanks everyone for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed this session and you have some key takeaways to take back to your day-to-day work. So thanks again, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks, Inga.